Welcome back. Y'all know what time it is. When you see me, you know it is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back to What She Said. We got a great podcast for you. And y'all know it is game night. So I hope you got your culture up from the last time I saw you. Welcome back to What She Said. It is game night, and we have a good podcast tonight. We are coming off the heels of the NFL honors and seeing our faves in New Orleans, Coach Prime, Bucky, Shiloh Sanders, and Travis Hunter. We saw a lot of other people too, but those are our faves. So we're going to talk about the events that took place yesterday. And there were a lot of interviews today. There were interviews yesterday, but there were some interviews today. Coach Prime was interviewed by ESPN. First Take was Stephen A., Miley, Cam Newton, and Shannon Sharp. So it was actually pretty good. They were in New Orleans on it looks like they were on Chapatulas, but I'm not 100% certain, but they were downtown somewhere, but not exactly in the French Quarters, maybe Royal Street or somewhere close to that. So first, I want to say congratulations or an order for our favorite defensive coordinator, Coach Rob Livingston. And he is now the highest paid coach in Colorado history. Is that right? Oh, it was the highest paid defensive coordinator. I thought they said, because Coach Prime's salary is $5 million a year. It must be defensive coordinator. Maybe assistant coach or something like that. That's not the head coach. So shout out to Coach Rob Livingston. His contract totals somewhere around $4 million over the next 4 years. And it's already, I thought we talked about this yesterday, that it has been discussed that Coach Prime, if he goes to the NFL, fans had discussions that they felt like Coach Livingston would take over, right? So it kind of only makes sense, and the Regents approved the contract. So if Coach Rob Livingston's contract is valued as $4 million, which is 1 point some odd million a year, and he's the highest paid coach in history in terms of, I think that's not a head coach. I think Coach Prime's contract got to be pretty fat. I heard that, well, I read that Ohio State's coach, they won the Natty. He is now $12 million a year. I forget his name, but their coach, Ryan Day, he's now at $12 million a year. So let me know in the comments where y'all think Coach Prime gonna land in terms of his coaching contract. I don't know I think if he's at 5 now, they gotta do 9 or 10. I'm gonna go with 10. I think we talked about this, and Coach Prime said it today on a podcast. I'm not sure. I think it was still First Take. He said he wants to stay in Boulder, and I also saw an article. He's on the Dan Patrick Show tonight. Coach Prime was also saying that he doesn't really have to interview for a head coaching job. I think it's when he's ready, give me a call. When you're ready to come to the NFL, give me a call. So Coach Prime said he wants to stay in Boulder. I believe that. He said he likes coaching at the college ranks. He said, of course, I considered it, with both of my sons declaring for the NFL draft. He said, but ultimately, I really want to stay in Boulder for the long term. So we shall see. It sounds like Coach Livingston had a lot of incentives, bonuses that he gets if they go to the bowl games, college football playoffs, et cetera, championships, et cetera. So I'm sure Coach Prime will have all that and more. All right, let's see who's in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see 9 of y'all. Hit the like button for me. Please do not be stingy with the like button. How's everybody doing? It is Friday. It is Friday. And since it's Friday, I'm just excited. Let me put on some music so we can vibe. Music is by Bougie Beats on Spotify. BOUGIEBEATZ. Check it out. And I'm just ready to vibe tonight. So drop me an emoji. Let me know how you're doing. Smiley face if you just chilling, having a good time. If you're sad, let us know. We'll try to cheer you up. We'll send a virtual hug. And if you geeked, send that smiley face. The wide smiley face. All right. So we just chilling tonight. All right. So y'all know it's Shededur Sanders' birthday. If you were not with us yesterday, Shededur Sanders, we celebrated his birthday yesterday, and we had a video.
I need my Colorado players to get drafted.
That's his birthday wish.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, man, we good.
It's a beautiful thing.
So we'll let it play from the beginning so y'all can hear. Y'all, I just love the fact that Shedeur's birthday cake were beignets. And I heard Travis Kelce might be hating on the food in New Orleans. So somebody said he's going to end up like Eli Apple, whatever that means. So, you know, not only was I impressed that Shedeur drove, well, in a Sprinter. I think he came down to New Orleans from Dallas in a Sprinter van, right? That was a 7-hour trip, okay? So he took a 7-hour trip. You could see him almost sitting upright, falling asleep, because it was several people in there. And when they rolled into New Orleans, that was like the stop. They didn't go to a hotel first. They drove 7 hours from Dallas to New Orleans. And then they went straight to his interviews. They went straight to the media event. I'm like, geez. And, you know, everybody loves Shedeur. Everybody loves Shedeur. So it seems that he had 2 interviews to do. We saw Travis's guy. Travis did an interview with Cam Newton. And I think he posted it and then Cam Newton did a solid for him. And they did an interview on Travis's show. And Bucky was there. Shedeur does not forget about his brother. He told Roger Goodell, who's the commissioner of the NFL, you know, you got to get my brother in here and let him move freely, basically. And they just kind of laughed. And then there was the Jerry Jones thing. The Jerry Jones thing was hilarious to me. Not the part where Jerry Jones was sitting behind them at the NFL honors, but the part where Jerry Jones was talking to Shedeur. And I don't know who Coach Prime was talking to off camera, but all you can hear Mr. Jones saying, hey, Prime, hey, that's mine. I'm like, what? And Bucky cut. I like, Bucky's a professional. He cut the film and transitioned, you know, to the rest of the conversation. I'm like, man, Jerry Jones couldn't even focus, but he was telling Shedeur people like they needed a lip reader. I'm like, what I heard him say was, we're going to have to do a lot of trading. In other words, to get Shedeur to Dallas, they're going to have to do a lot of trading, because y'all know they got Dak Prescott just got the $60 million extension. And honestly, I don't see Shedeur going to Dallas. I mean, I'm sure it will be cool. If not Shedeur, maybe Shiloh. But, you know, for the people who said Jerry Jones is ready for the shady rest, old folks home, no. No, he's not going there. I told y'all he don't prop him up in the living room. But he is just as sprightly and ever the businessman telling, I don't know who Coach Prime was talking to, but he was like, Prime, like, that's mine. I'm like, oh, okay. And I know I saw this beautiful woman, this beautiful lady. She was black. She had long hair. She was voluptuous. She was like a reporter. So she was interviewing Coach Prime. I'm like, okay, all right, Mr. Jones. But I don't know who he was talking to, but it was hilarious. Nonetheless, he's full throttle conversation with Shedeur, but he see who Coach Prime talking to. So he stopped the conversation to let Prime know, hey. I'm like, okay. If you didn't see it, go watch Well Off Media. It's out there. Let's see who's in the chat. Darlene, I love your channel. Thank you so much. Love your insights. It is also pleasant. Keep it up. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you. So while yesterday Jerry Jones was marking his territory and letting Coach Prime know whoever that was Coach Prime was talking to, that's his. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. I know once upon a time, I know I was in San Antonio and the Dallas Cowboys have training camp in San Antonio, right? And we went to a Mexican restaurant. And then this huge party comes in, right? And when I say huge, they took up, it had to be probably 20 or 30 of them. So they put a whole host of tables together that basically took up, like, privatized the side that we were on. And I saw this lady walking towards me, and she had on a wedding ring that was bigger than the white part of my eye and your eye too. And I'm not kidding. And then I looked up and it was Jerry Jones. I said, okay. So I guess it was the family and friends, their family and friends. They basically came and shut the restaurant down. That's what they do. And yeah. So, it's funny how, in Texas, oil business, you're used to seeing diamonds, denim, that type of thing. But when I tell you this woman's ring was massive, and I saw the ring and didn't even know who she was, then I saw him and realized that that's who it was. I was like, God darn. And now, the Dallas Cowboys are valued at $10 billion, and it is the highest valuation of any NFL team. So the man knows how to generate money. He knows how to generate money. He's conducting business. He's sprightly. He's right top of mind. He's not going anywhere anytime soon unless the Lord says, hey, I need you to come with me. He's going to be right there. But Shedeur being in Dallas, I don't exactly know if that's going to be the case. But what I liked about seeing Shedeur yesterday is how comfortable he was. Shedeur worked that room, and his father was essentially showing him who's who you need to know, who you need to talk to. Now, when Shedeur first got there, like I told you, they came off a 7-hour road trip. You could see him stopping, taking pictures with people. He was doing interviews. I know he did an interview. I think I watched that one yesterday. He had a Gatorade event to go to. Y'all know he's sponsored by Gatorade. It was his birthday, so he had to go see his own podcast. And they presented him with a YouTube plaque. He's now at 100,000 subs. They got him a beautiful cake. I was just fawning over the fact that you could see he had a birthday cake made out of beignets, which is New Orleans style. They had the brass band. So he did all of that yesterday. And when I saw Shedeur finally leaving after being there, coming in 7 hours, doing what you got, doing, taking care of business. And when he walked out of the building where the media events were, the sun was getting ready to go down. This young man is dedicated. And when he stopped, he took interviews with kids. Reporters wanted to talk to him. Another reporter actually already had time with Shedeur, and I heard the guy say, I know you're tired. This was right before he walked out the door. He said, no, come on, let's do it. Shedeur is selfless. For his birthday, when he made his wish is that all of his Colorado Buffaloes get drafted, the ones that are in the NFL. He wasn't thinking about himself. He was talking about, his brothers in Colorado. Where Michael Vick had to put a reporter in check. I thought it was about Shedeur, unless it was clickbait. But Michael Vick was talking, and the guy interrupted Michael Vick. He's like, hey, you just going to interrupt me like that? I thought they said it was about Shedeur, but point is, I don't hear no Shedeur slander, because you're going to catch these words from me on social media. This young man didn't say he wanted anything personal. He just want them to get drafted. Drove 7 hours, came in, did all of the media attention. Kids wanting to take pictures with him. And it was a group of kids. Then the one kid was like, I want one by myself. Then the other one, I want one by myself. I want one by myself. And I mean, he just went through the whole day like that. And he had to be tired. And then he got to his birthday gift later on. So he puts himself last. He's selfless. So I don't want to hear no more Shedeur slander. Let's see who in the comments. Thank you for the kind words, Darlene. Alma said, keep saying what you're saying. Keeps me coming back, praying for your success. Oh, thank you so much. We have memberships. Feel free to join us. I think when you go to the channel, it'll ask you if you want to join. It starts like at $2. There's nothing over $10. And it's just 2 levels. You can be, and I'm at 5. I have 5 members now. 5 people have joined. Who gonna get me to 6? You can be a friend of What She Said for like $2.99. And then you could be like What She Said family. And there's perks that come with that, and it explains it. So please, somebody join us today. If I could get one today, that's good. But I'm at 5. Let me know who's going to get me to 6. I'll put the membership link in the chat just in case. And yeah, we'll go from there. So thank y'all for the kind words. I really enjoyed doing this. And I guess I didn't realize how much information I was taking in. So I guess I decided to give it a try, but it seems to be working. So I thank y'all for the kind words. And into the chat, I am adding the membership link. So if somebody wants to sign up today to get me to 6, thank you. I have 6 members. All right. So it says, Follow-Rama. Okay, folks, Rama, you're back. It said, Bucky, stay with the camera. Always working. Yes. And Shedeur talking to Roger Goodell yesterday. Said, you got to let my brother in and do what he do. I'm like, I I think we're gonna be seeing Bucky because I heard that he's training some folks back in Boulder, and people kind of suspected this was gonna happen, but he did say he was gonna stay in Colorado, with their dad. But it seems like I thought I heard Shedeur say Bucky's going with him, I guess, like to follow his journey to the NFL. And he said he could pretty much be with him, maybe he said, except for like if it's the Super Bowl. Because y'all know there Saquon Barkley won an award last night and he couldn't even get it because the Super Bowl, they clamped down on them. So I think that's why he said, he could go with him except if it's the Super Bowl, because I guess they have curfew restrictions. They can't just be all over the place. And I don't know if I told y'all, but I was thinking that it would be cool for the people who can't go. We get together and watch Earth Cam. They have Bourbon Street Live. Why they turn the cameras off for the Super Bowl? So no more 24/7 feed from Bourbon Street, balcony or street view from Earth Cam. They turned the cameras off. So I'm like, they're going to let them act a fool in peace. And I was like, wow. So I was like, I really wanted to go, right? So yesterday I said, let me check and see how much it would cost to go. So I said, I'm going to check Amtrak, right? Because when I went to Essence Festival, it was a last minute decision. It was $29 each way on Amtrak. And when we came back, there were people going to like South Carolina. It was groups of women. They got together. They went to Essence, that they went to on Amtrak, returned on Amtrak. So I was like, people really travel this way. So, and then the whole airline thing, I just can't do it. I didn't even check for flights. I went straight to Amtrak. So I said, let me see how much it's going to cost me to get to New Orleans. So I could technically leave in the morning at 9 a.m. The train leaves Atlanta, but it's a 12-hour trek. So I wouldn't get in till 9 o'clock at night on Saturday, which honestly is not bad because I just want to get content for y'all and go live. Like, look, let me go to Bourbon Street myself since y'all turn the cameras off. So it was like $45 one way. I was like, $45 one way to New Orleans, the weekend of the Super Bowl. You got to be kidding me. I was like, let me see how much it is on the way back. Same price. So for less than $100, including tax, I think it was at $97 round trip with tax. I could actually be in New Orleans Saturday night, Sunday night, take the train back 9 a.m. on Monday morning, get back to Atlanta 9 p.m. that night. Of course, I would be asleep, so I wouldn't even know. I would be asleep the whole way. I was so tempted. I said, you know what? Just in case, I was like, I got family in New Orleans, but just in case, I know I'm going to be right there in the city. I have family in Slidell, family in New Orleans, family in Marrero. I have family all over the place. And I'm like, I don't want to bum rush nobody like that at the last minute. And I know I want to be right there in the city because whenever I go, I'm right there, like on Canal. So I was like, let me look up. I use Priceline. So Priceline has what they call express deals. That's how I get these flights at the last minute for $100. And Priceline, if you hear this, you can go ahead on and sponsor me. But this is a true story. But it's also, I told y'all, I went to New Orleans 6 times from August and I was there New Year's Eve. That's how I was able to get these top tier hotels because they have these express deals. And when you book the express deal, this is the caveat. You know how much it's going to cost. You get to pick your dates, right? But you don't get to pick the hotel. They present you with 3 hotels. So when we went for Essence Festival, I said, this is my first time. I said, okay. It said the Le Pavillon, the Young, and the Rubenstein. I was like, Rubenstein have a hotel? I didn't know that. And I was like, Le Pavillon. The Le Pavillon is nice. I was like, what? Okay. And then the Young Hotel I wasn't familiar with. But I went to do some research in about 10 seconds. I had just like a minute just to Google. I said, hold on, I'm gonna book this. And the other one was the Cambria. That's what it was. So we stayed at the Le Pavillon. We took Amtrak. We left at 9 in the morning. We got there at 9 at night. We walked from the station to the Le Pavillon because it's like across the avenue. You can't see the station. It's like if you walk out of the Le Pavillon Hotel, which is on Poitras, you turn right, you go 2 blocks, you go across the avenue, that's the train station. So we walked. We were going to get a taxi. He was going to charge us $20 to go 2 blocks. I was like, we'll walk. I was like, it's okay. Remember, we weren't staying long, so we didn't have a lot of luggage, just like duffel bags. and I had all my camera equipment and everything. So we get to the hotel, and they were like, I need a $50. I think it was a $250 incident fee. I was like, whatever. But that was high. Most people like $50. But I felt like that was high, but I didn't worry about it. I'm like, we checking out tomorrow anyway. So we were in New Orleans, I swear, 24 hours. Cost $29 to get there, $29 back on Amtrak. It was a wonderful trip, got beautiful content. And I said, you know what? I think I would do this again. But 12 hours is a long time to go from Atlanta to New Orleans. But at $29 for Essence Festival, you can't beat that. The hotel itself didn't even cost the $250. It was like $190 something for Essence Festival. So, of course, we was out all night. By the time we got back to the hotel, it was 3 a.m. We had to be back at the train station. Train pulled out at 9. So, like at 7:30, we got up, got some food. Hotel was beautiful. We had a nice room with a beautiful view, all for less than $200. And that's the Le Pavillon. So if y'all try Priceline, you're going to New Orleans, it's like gives you the Le Pavillon. Take it. Then I went back to New Orleans. Then I did the Priceline again. It was the Cambria on Chapatulas, right by Caesars Casino. I stayed there. Beautiful. If you ever get the Cambria, yes. Then I stayed at the Young Hotel multiple times. It was a huge 1-bedroom suite. It was beautiful. So if you ever get the Young, Jung, stay there. It's right on Canal, a couple of blocks from everything. It's not a big deal. You're right by Tulane Medical Center. So if y'all ever use Priceline involving New Orleans and they give you 3 hotels, just Google the hotels. But trust me, the Cambria, the Young, the Le Pavillon, the Rubenstein, all top notch. So I said, okay, when it comes to the Super Bowl, now it's $45. So it was $29 for Essence. It's $45. I said, okay, if it's that's like too good to be true, right? Where is the hiccup? I checked the hotels. $7,000. I'm not kidding. $7,000 a night in New Orleans for a 5-star hotel, which is typically what I'm staying in for $200 a night. $345 New Year's Eve. Come on now. $7,000. The Red Roof Inn is $350 a night. I need to be there for 2 nights. There's no way I'm paying $700 to stay at the Red Roof Inn. So New Orleans is expensive. $7,000 a night. And this wasn't like a presidential suite. That's just how expensive everything is in New Orleans this weekend. So they were having this flag football event, but it's Saturday during the day. So I wouldn't even get in till 9 o'clock at night. I would miss that. Wasn't planning to go to the Super Bowl. I was like, you know what? Just never mind. I was like, just never mind. Can you imagine paying $7,000 for a hotel in New Orleans for 2 nights? Man, that's crazy. So that's my story about New Orleans. Priceline, the Super Bowl. If y'all go, just get the express deal. But avoid the Red Roof Inn. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's see who in here. Oh, it says, Bucky stay with the camera. Yes, he does. He does. Shiloh is a homebody. Miss Anyway. Shiloh is a homebody. Okay, so he said it himself. And from what I gather, they're all independent and do their own thing, right? So DeAndrea, she has a baby now. She's doing her own thing. What's her name? Bossy Shalimai. She's down at Alabama A&M. She's doing her own thing. And y'all know Shedeur is independent, and Bucky generally is. But of course, with him doing the media, he is, he sees them more, and they're spending more time together now. Shiloh's birthday, I think, is tomorrow or the 10th. So he's just a homebody. He just prefers not to be out in the thick of it. And it was said that Shiloh actually made an entire album and dropped it, meaning it went public and his whole family didn't know he was recording. So he stays to himself. He said he just likes to enjoy his house and enjoy the rent that he pays. He said his rent was expensive, so he just liked to be at home. So he a homebody, And when you have like 5 kids, it's not a surprise that 1 or 2 just kind of stay to themselves and do their own thing. And, you know, Shiloh, like right there in the middle. Shiloh, Bucky, no, DeAndrea, Bucky. I don't know who's the oldest out of those two. I think DeAndre is the oldest, then Bucky, then Shiloh, then Shedeur, then Shalomai. So he's kind of in the middle. So he just do his own thing. But they didn't leave him out. Believe me, trust me, they didn't leave him out. It says, you talking about the hotel? I'm just saying, $7,000, Lord. So yeah, you know, that's just basically what it is. And we're live on Twitch right now. If anybody's a gamer or just likes Twitch for whatever, you can find us at What She Said on Twitch. Family and friends, all love and peace. Kiel, welcome back, Kiel. It is game night. I was just doing what I do, have the little opening. I was talking about it's only $45 to go to New Orleans on Amtrak. If anybody still wants to go from Atlanta. Salute What She Said. Welcome, Blue Devil. Welcome. All right. So since it's game night, and I promised y'all some fun, let's get into it. And Darlene said that would have been a great opportunity for you. That would have helped your channel. Exactly. I even texted this and it said, you know what? This will be good for my channel. It said, you have great insight of the players in the game. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Darlene. We talked about Coach Rob Livingston and his contract extension, making him one of the highest coaches. I guess that's not a head coach in Colorado history. The Regents approved his contract that comes with incentives, which means I know Coach Prime contract gonna be nice. And I talked about how fans actually believe Coach Rob Livingston will be the next head coach at CU. And I kind of could already see that. But Coach Prime said he don't see himself going anywhere right now. So he wants to stay there. So I'm sure they're still working on getting his contract together. Then y'all know Marshall Faulk is officially on board as the running back coach. So everybody's looking forward to that. And I've still been watching the younger guys back in Colorado. I call it Meanwhile in Colorado or in Boulder. The guys working out together. I saw Juju on camera. You know, somebody was saying he wasn't from South Georgia. He was saying he was from West Georgia. So he's talkative. They try to run Ben out of there with that White Boy Wednesday. So I saw this the other day. So Ben got this thing, and I don't know what it is, but he says Wednesdays is White Boy Wednesday. So he eased into it by asking them what's their favorite song by a white person. You know, people were like Party in the USA with Miley Cyrus. So he was like in the huddle, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on me, White Boy Wednesday. People, I saw somebody look and somebody said, you know, it's Black History Month. He said, yeah, but it's Wednesday. They were like, no, not doing Black History Month. Now, I was like, Ben, they gonna run you out of there. So I was like, maybe any other time, Ben, but not right now. He was like, we need to at least have Black History Month. So no, we can't do no White Boy Wednesday today. So that was hilarious. I heard Omarion, I guess he was asked, is there a drop-off in the wide receiver room, right? Because, you know, all of the elite players are going to the league. And he said no. He said, you know, he's considered himself, he's the leader in terms of the guys that were there before, you know. And he's taking on that of showing all the new guys the ropes of Boulder, CU, the football team, the culture, etc. And when I tell you, Omarion from a week ago, their strength and conditioning is through the roof. He looks like he's getting ready to graduate. I was like, I don't know what he's going to look like when he graduates. I'm like, wow. So shout out to Coach Swayze. Their strength and conditioning, these dudes going to be in one heck of good shape by the time they get to the first game, Georgia Tech. So I don't know if y'all saw it, but the video came out today. It's only like 8 minutes, so go check it out. Alma said, Amtrak is my mode of travel. You know what, Alma? I heard, and I don't know when this happened. Y'all can let me know. So apparently there was a Japan Airlines flight that clipped the tail on a Delta Airlines flight. So imagine the wing of one plane going past another plane's tail and basically cutting into it. What is going on with the FAA? I don't understand what is happening. But I was happy to see Shedeur on a road trip rather than the airport. And I think that's why when I looked up the Super Bowl, I didn't even check for flights. And I normally use Priceline for flights and hotels secondary. I didn't even check. I was like, I'm going Amtrak. I mean, for $100, I definitely, but I didn't even check for flights first. I think I actually took so many road trips to New Orleans. I could have flown. It's to a point I could go every month. And I got to the point I got tired. And I said, you know what? I'm really not comfortable flying. So that's why I started making the road trips. And actually, I thought about it. I said, I can just get up. We can just leave in the morning and go drive down to New Orleans. It's only 7 hours. And it's still possible. Don't be surprised. I might just not worry about my relatives and their feelings and be like, look, I'm gonna need to stay here. Because I do think it will be fun to be, to get to go live there from, because I had figured all of this out. I was like, man, I get in at 9:00. I could actually go live from the train because we'll be pulling into New Orleans. It's only an hour outside of New Orleans. So that's somewhere like Mississippi. And I could have went live from there and of course go live later. And then I said the same thing on the way back. So I wouldn't miss anything, but we shall see. But it is not out of the question, but I don't know how long I will be there. But 7 hours is a lot better than 12. It says eventually Coach Prime gonna have a Hall of Famer buff coaching staff. That's what it seems like. Some people weren't happy with Coach Prime's decision to hire the longtime analyst from Jackson State, which is Gunnar White. I didn't have an issue with it. I mean, I guess I thought it was going to be like somebody else, but I thought about it. I said, okay, let's be realistic here. Coach Prime needs somebody in that role that he can trust. Year 1, we know how it went. Year 2, I figured some things out. And what I meant by I figured some things out, it was obvious only half of the O-line was problematic, not the whole one. But 32 sacks still was too much on Shedeur. And when I heard somebody talking just on something, and they said that the outgoing coach that went to Ole Miss recruited number 67, I'm like, see, that's why he allowed him in to be in the game so many times, not being effective, because he brought him there. So he didn't want to bench him. And that's why Coach Prime, in my opinion, needs somebody that he could trust. And Gunnar White coming from Jackson State, coming to Colorado. I mean, he was at Jackson State. He followed Coach Prime to Colorado. He knows the players. Coach Prime can trust him. And I'm like, why shouldn't he promote from within? Always going outside getting other people. I mean, I get that last year. But this year, if there are people that have proven themselves, then I do think he should promote from within, especially with the O-line, because we've had some issues year over year in just the 2 years. So I'm cool with it. It says, who is this? Crowley. It says, what does it say? The show. Hey, Queen T. It says, oh, good to hear your show and your insights in football and the players. Thank you so much. White Boy Wednesday is what? Is a trip. That's Ben finessing. Happy Black History, my family. Yeah. Ben go get himself in a world of trouble with that White Boy Wednesday. And I'm like, look, Ben, maybe any other time they don't have no issue with it, but you got to acknowledge this is Black History Month. Like, when you start moving on people like that, that's when they start side-eyeing you. Because I know it's Black History Month. So hopefully he get that together. But I like the fact that they stood up and told him, bruh, not right now. Queen T. It said, hey, gang, hello. Welcome back, Queen T. We just talking about the Super Bowl, my Amtrak adventure, if it happens. $7,000 hotel rooms in New Orleans for 2 nights. So what's that? $3,500 a night. We talked about Coach Livingston, Marshall Falk joining Coach Livingston's extension. And we talked about Shedeur. Shedeur took a 7-hour road trip to New Orleans. Y'all know it's his birthday, so I did go to his page and wish him a happy birthday. I even posted the video. And now we get ready to talk about, it's game night. Maybe let's play the first one and we'll come back and talk about the second thing. All right, so This card right here, y'all ready? You got to get your culture up, okay? Let me know if you can see it. Somebody type the letters in the chat for me, please. It says IDK WTTY, okay? So the category is daily sayings. So this is something you could say to anybody. It's not a special occasion. But the reason you would say this is, all right, so let's talk about Travis, and then you're going to figure out the clue, okay? So, you know, everybody knows Travis has a situation in his relationship, right? And he figures the best way, you know, he thought coming off of social media would help him. And, you know, he has to be in the limelight, one, because of this Adidas contract. I think if Travis didn't have the Adidas contract, we wouldn't even see him. And of course, he doesn't talk about it. And, you know, they just trying to keep it out of the media, and that's cool. But when you think about how we got to where we are with him trying to keep everything at bay and, you know, protect his relationship or protect his privacy or whatever, one of the things y'all can remember is after the comedian Godfrey really intentionally were trying to, you know, be there for Travis, things got crazy, right? And people tried to tell him, you know, this not the person for you. This is not somebody that has your best interest at heart. This person is using you. Wake up, etc. Right? Well, usually when something like that occurs, and then the very dreaded thing that people dreaded about what could happen to you if you allow someone to use you, manipulate you, abuse you, etc. When the very dreaded thing happens, this is what we're going to hear every other day. This is a saying. It's similar to I told you so. It's similar to, well, it's similar to, you know, I don't know what you thought. I don't know why you thought any different. So this is the saying. I need y'all to guess what it is. IDK. That's the biggest clue right there. IDK WTTY. Now, y'all know what IDK means, right? All right, then. So that's a clue. All right. So let me go back to the comments. It said number 67 went back to Indiana Blue Devil. Yeah, he did. He did. I always question what made him come to Colorado in the first place, because the whole scenario was just weird. And, you know, some people really felt like there was some people compromised on the O-line. And I actually believe that. I'm just not going to say who. But it's not a coincidence that the changes were made. What was kind of shocking is that the O-line coach didn't really want to make adjustments, even when it's like he just chose to yell, scream, and holler. And Coach Prime had to be the one to come behind him and make adjustments. Now, that didn't make no sense. So, and I don't know, maybe he old school and think, oh, I know he's not doing good, but I don't want, you know, because maybe back in the day, they didn't take players out of a game. They trying to leave you in there like you drowning and you just got to learn how to swim. That's kind of the impression that I got from him. But I even remember there was a meeting, and it was captured on well-off media. It was a meeting and Coach Prime said to the coaches, you know, he said, it's just not on the players. He said, if you don't make adjustments, I will. And I looked right at that dude and I was like, you talking to you? I'm like, yeah, he the look on his face, it's like he knew the message was for him, but he didn't kind of appreciate it. So I knew it wasn't a surprise that he wasn't coming back. But that was kind of sad because I knew he knew Coach Prime, but I don't know. I wasn't on the ground, but you could still see from a distance that the issue was like the big guy, he was right there and he would not make adjustments to that guy. And I don't know if y'all remember when they started making a quarterly adjustments, that's when things got better. And the reason things got better is because the bad apples weren't allowed to fester. And that's how you knew they needed a change in coaching, because that had to be forced upon the other coach. That clearly wasn't something he was cool with doing. All right. So, yep. Nope. You're right. It says, I saw Travis today with Cam Newton. He's still on that victim mindset. And I'm through with Travis. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are because they see him not being grateful and appreciative of the things that he was blessed upon. All right, so I still need y'all to figure this out while we had this conversation. All right, you know what IDK is? Okay, I need somebody to put these letters in the chat. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. All right, I'm typing the letters. Let's see. All right, I think I got it right. IDKWTTY. Okay, that's the clue. All right, so I think a lot of people are. I think I'm one of them. I feel like this is a situation where you have a person and you clearly can see that they just don't get it. And you want to walk away from them, but you will walk away from them. But deep down inside, you have this hope. You have this hope that they get it. Because you know if they don't get it, it's going to be really bad. But what makes it easier to walk away and let go of the he's sheltered conversation. He's sheltered, he needs protection. What makes it easy to walk away from that is he know darn well he would not be where he is without Shedeur or Coach Prime. You went to Jackson State at the reaching out of Shedeur. That is your brother. You said y'all were family. But you did all of these things without his knowledge. And it's like at the end of the season, you're not family no more. You know, somebody put in the comments, I think they said you could see that he's being isolated from them, right? But I agree with that. I've said that. During the season, you know, he had to be around them. And he thrived, in my opinion. When you see him now, he's not thriving. The Mavericks game. Y'all remember he was at the Mavericks game sitting front row, right? And it was the Mavericks versus the Timberwolves, and he was behind stage and he did the whole jersey exchange with Anthony Edwards, who's also with Adidas. So common sense says he was in Dallas because Adidas wanted him to go to that game. They got him front row tickets. Front row tickets at these games are like $10,000 a pop. And when I saw him backstage, I had to go back and look at the picture of him sitting courtside to make sure he still had on the same pants. He had on pajama pants. He wore pajama pants, not Adidas gear, pajama pants to sit courtside at the Dallas Mavericks game where he met Anthony Edwards backstage, pajama pants. Do you know how ungrateful that is to your sponsor? You mean to tell me you in Adidas, you rep Adidas, or they signed a contract with you and your brother, which we still ain't seen. Easily could be right there in New Orleans. You mean to tell me you flew here with these pajama pants in your suitcase, and this what you want to put on to sit courtside at an NBA game? These tickets probably $20,000, 10 for you and 10 for whoever got to be with you, your security. And you couldn't put on no Adidas. So when I saw him in New Orleans, the pajama pants came from Amazon. They $21. You can go over there and look them. They say trophy husband. They are pajamas. They are pajamas. I was like, wow. Okay. So in New Orleans, I didn't see anything on his page before people said he was there, like anything for Adidas. I'm gonna be in New Orleans, blah, 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 just nothing, right? Then, you know, I see him sitting down with Cam Newton, and, you know, then Stephen A comes up. But I noticed Adidas shoes, Adidas socks, Adidas pants, Adidas jacket. But, you know, he wasn't in that fashionable. It's like, let me just put this on. And Stephen A dropped some gems on Travis. Okay. If you didn't see the interview, he was sitting there talking to Cam. And in my opinion, I don't care what nobody thinks. Cam is not good for Travis because Cam was trying to lead him down that path of people don't want to see you make it. Stephen A had to redirect, in my opinion, and give a grown man's response. And this is what Stephen A said. He said, there are a lot of people that want to see you make it. Yeah, there are going to be people that don't want to see you make it, but there are a lot of people that want to see you make it. He says, so your job is to be able to discern the difference between those that's trying to drag you down and those that want to see you make it. He said, your job is to learn the difference between the two. He said, now you're going to be able to spot the haters like that. He said, but you're not going to know who the other people are until you figure it out. He said, but everybody is not hating on you. I was like, because what that does, Cam's tired trope of everybody wants to see him fail gives him justification to not listen to the people who trying to help him. So he not helpful for him. He needed Stephen A in his life. And you know what I said? You can tell that Travis ain't been around Coach Prime because number one, I've seen him in two places now. Ain't no way in God's green earth will Coach Prime let Travis wear no damn pajama pants that say trophy husband, pajama pants, sitting courtside at the Mavericks game. Ain't no way. And then I went back and looked at when he was courtside with Shedeur when they was at the Nuggets game. He had on a nice Nike matching tracksuit. So he knows better. He sat courtside before. He can't say he didn't know. He don't care. He's willing to forsake everything, including his Adidas contract. I know Adidas told him, you better put on some Adidas shit when you go to New Orleans. I don't see you in the pajamas no more. And I know they didn't say it like that. But the point is the people around him let him do these types of foolish things that shows he's not grateful for anything. Not grateful for the relationship with Coach Prime. Not grateful for the relationship with Adidas. You show up at a game that they sent you to in pajama pants that say trophy husband because the other person ain't here. So this is your memorial to that. Screw Adidas. Which is why he Adidas from head to toe in New Orleans. Looking lost. Looking completely lost. Like he not comfortable in his own skin. The confident individual that we knew is gone. I keep hearing people say, oh, he's going to be super successful. Yeah, okay. You see what just happened in the NBA, right? The golden boy shipped off to the Lakers. And guess who got to be his chaperone? That's right. And y'all know why. Because we drafted Bronny. And that didn't work out. So I'm going to need you to make sure and try to get him on the right path. Because he's not. Off the field issues can encroach on professional life. I don't know why people keep trying to ignore it with this young fella. Why he didn't bring his brother? His brother got an Adidas contract. Why not bring your brother? And, to hear him sit up and say to Cam, I'm the first one in my family to do it. Does it really matter if you don't fool with them? Does it really matter when you put her brother as a co-host of your show instead of bringing your cousin who you play football with every day? He just talking. Grandma, I know I don't call you as much as I used to. Right. Why? So to me, the absence of Coach Prime from his life in just this little short period of time is obvious. And last night we was online together. We were, live together watching the NFL honors, but we were watching footage too. You're like, Shedeur behind the scenes, etc. Right? And I said, you know what? Travis was supposed to be right there. I said, tell me I'm wrong. Coach Prime was supposed to have, I bet Travis, everywhere we saw Shedeur last night, Travis was supposed to be there. One way you notice, they both have overtime shows. They were in different places. You ain't see them together. So he missing out. This is what he needed. But the problem is he allowed himself to turn off the lights after he got the Heisman. Oh, I don't need you no more. I don't need to listen to you no more. I don't need your advice. I don't need to learn from you no more. I don't need to study from you no more. He told Shedeur straight to his face, When he asked him, was he excited about the wedding? What did he say? I'm just ready to go hang out with family. I guess you ain't family no more, bro. Because he was supposed to be the other Sanders son. Remember all of that? He soaked all of that up. But then after the Heisman, that was it. When the wedding was planned, Shedeur had no idea. That was it. He want to go hang out with family. I don't even know who the hell that is. Because he said he don't talk to his grandma, but you don't see his cousin. He think, you know who he think first? And everybody last night that thanked the fiance, they thank God and their mama first. Or they thank God first, at least. So, Queen T, I could see how you're done with him. You're not going to be the only one that's done with him. Once he actually makes it to the league, you've already watched him alienate Coach Prime and Shedeur. What make y'all think he's not going to alienate his entire team? Not wanting to hang out with them. He ain't going to want to hear what they got to say. He going to want to keep everybody at bay so he can keep this foolishness up. And that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. To me, he was cool with being a fourth Sanders son as long as people didn't know the truth about his situation, which I think they knew. But once it went public, oh, let me go inside and hide, you know. And he wants to make himself, like Queen T say, he's the victim. I'm like, bro, they gonna see through your charade just like we are soon enough. Soon enough. So that's that on that. So here's the answer to the question. All right. I said IDK WTTY. When what everybody has warned him about comes to fruition, the answer, you know what people gonna say? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Because they told you. They told you. He not gonna be okay. He ain't okay now. The only reason he looked halfway decent is because he had to wear that Adidas stuff, which told me, I know them people was not happy with him with them pajama pants. Pajama pants. Nosebleed tickets to these games are at minimum $100, depending on who they playing. It was the Minnesota Timberwolves. So to me, he can turn it on and turn it off, but he puts everything beyond everything. Everything is beyond trying to maintain that situation. Even was paying the bills, which means even when he gets to the NFL, that is not going to be the priority. It is not. You know what the priority is? I just want to play both ways. Let me get it and watch what happens. We've already seen this play out. We've already seen it play out. It's going to play out exactly like what we're seeing. And people going to be like, damn, I would have thought that, you know, he wouldn't have let his professional life slip. Why? Everything else did. I'm like, look at his relationship with Coach Prime. That is the most telling action ever. Sure, him and Shedeur about the same age. They argue all the time. He even said he talked to Bucky and Shiloh more. But Coach Prime, when you turn the lights out on the person that turned them on for you, and you walk out the room, turn the lights out, and you leave them standing there. He brought her brother on his fishing trip with Coach Prime because he didn't want Coach Prime talking to him. I think he want his brother to beg him to help him. I don't think he want to help his brother. He don't want his brother to usurp him in the spotlight. He thinks he's going first in the draft. I think the more people, the more time it is until the draft, the more people learn about him. The more these teams, they see him. They see him this weekend, how he's navigating. Y'all see Shedeur working that room. Oh, Lord. Shedeur is that young man. Coach Prime did very well with Shedeur. Shedeur worked the room like a pro. I felt like it was Easter Sunday and my mama and my daddy put this beautiful dress on me. And when we got to church, I had to meet all these people that they want to introduce me to. And I know I want to go sit down somewhere because I'm tired, but I'm going to put my game face on. And I'm going to show everybody love and respect because this is important to my mom and my daddy. Shedeur did the damn thing. Travis was supposed to be right there with him. I know he was. I know he was. I'll bet 10K on it. He was supposed to be right there last night. Y'all saw how nice Shedeur looked. Even when Shedeur was being interviewed, he looked nice. He even took time to brush his hair. Getting out of the Sprinter van after riding for 7 hours, ran his fingers through his hair to make sure he looked nice. Took the time to speak to everyone, to engage with everyone. He could have just been tired and pushed everybody to the side, but he didn't. Gave everybody the attention that they were asking for and walked out the door and the sun was going down. I don't want to hear nothing negative about Shedeur. It's funny how, I don't know if y'all realize it, but during the season, there were people trying to pitch Shedeur and Travis apart. And I told y'all, I felt like Cam Ward was going to take his opportunity to put his foot in the door and pull Travis his way. I saw it, but I saw Stephen A. redirect it. And I love when Stephen A. told Travis, it is your job to learn the difference between those who are for you and those who are against you. I was like, because he won't listen to nobody else say it. So Stephen A. got it in. So, but I'm like Queen T. I don't even have no more hopes for it. I just think it's gonna languish off to the side. I think his situation and Luka's situation kind of basically could end up just like Luka. Teams looking at you for your talent and choosing to ignore the stuff going on in your personal life. And then eventually, after a couple of years, after they give you the big contract, they see it's getting worse and worse and worse. And then they get tired of you and they ship you off to Siberia or somewhere else or whatever. They just got to get rid of you because they're not about to give you $350 million. So while you may get the bag the first time, and then you get a $200 million extension after a few years of the rookie contract or whatever, eventually, like Luka, you're going to be embarrassed. You're going to bottom out and you're going to have been bought a brand new house and they're not going to care. They're just going to be tired of you and they're going to get rid of you. And they're going to use that $125 million they could have gave to you and they're going to get some other people who know how to handle themselves on and off the court. I feel like we've seen all of it play out. All of it's playing out. Which means I don't even need to be around when it happened. But to me, that's what happens when the people who brought you to where you are, you walk off from them. You walk off from them, which meant you was fake the whole time. You was faking the entire time until you got what you wanted. That's what that means. That means you was faking it, which is why the separation happened right after the season. And as soon as they went play basketball before the send-off for the Alamo Bowl, he walked out that door after all this big smiles and didn't talk to nobody on the way out because you was fake the whole time. You're not that embarrassed that you would ignore everybody on the team, including Shedeur. You not. And then when you go to the Alamo Bowl, you got all this hyped up energy and you yelling and screaming at the person who brought you here. You could be at Florida State playing one way and sorry on a sorry team, trying to find your way to your next university. And that's how you show gratitude to Shedeur? Then you don't even tell Coach Prime that you want to go to Green Bay. He got to hear it after he goes on Good Morning America that, oh, if I'm the number one pick, I'm going to Green Bay. All right. You could have sent him a text message. I know you got his number. So that's how you show your gratitude. And then Adidas gives you a contract and they bring you to Dallas because we know you wouldn't have went to the Mavs game. We know you wouldn't have brought yourself out the house from Colorado all the way to the Mavs game, certainly by yourself. We know that that's not you. And what do? You show your gratitude to Adidas by wearing some damn pajama pants that say Trophy Husband and sitting on the first row, which is why in New Orleans, you got all things Adidas because they're not playing with you. And then you got your brother a contract after you embarrassed yourself. And we still don't see him. Fake. Fake. So, like Queen T, wash my hands of it. Not for long. That's it. Not for long. You facts. on. It said, I think Travis threatening YouTube content creators. Oh, yeah. Because earlier this week, I told y'all on another podcast, I said, it looked like the content creators going down round for another round. So the thirst trap that she put out there, I don't know how they got it because I thought her page was closed. That she put out there the last week when Travis was trying to clinch the Heisman. He paid for her and her friends to go to Mexico and she was thirst trapping. And he disapproved of the picture, but she didn't take it down. The only time she took it down was when that guy from the strip club in Atlanta popped up. And people were like, certainly you don't think closing it now gonna help you? If you had something to hide, why didn't you just stay off the internet? Because the thirst for the fame was more than my common sense and my ability to protect myself. So I don't know how they got the picture, but the same guy that they went after posted it just a few days ago. And it says, is this his girlfriend? And they posted that picture. The one Regina saw it. I don't know if she on here, but Regina saw it. She even said like, oh God. I'm like, yep. I said then that picture was for somebody else. It was not for him. And she didn't take it down. So, you know, I think that's why everybody who kind of was around at the time, don't even talk about it because they already knew. They already knew. What people never fathomed was that he would just walk away from Coach Prime. That's that right there. That tells you everything that you need to know about a person. Because y'all know how instrumental Coach Prime was and how him joining their family was. But somebody don't want him to do that because then he would learn the truth. So he just gonna have to learn it the hard way. I don't know what to tell you. That was it. Oh, you got it already before I told it. Awesome. Yep, that's it. I don't know what to tell you. So Miss Anyway and Alma got the answer right, y'all. It says, yes, because Queen T, you say, yes, because I think any other team coach would have not given him the info that Coach Prime has given him and took on him. Yeah, he wouldn't have went to Florida. Okay, he committed to Florida State because that's where Coach Prime went, right? Florida State was not going to let him play both ways. Most schools wouldn't have. To me, it's a lesson in. I feel like it's a lesson in betrayal. I feel like it's gonna be a lesson in betrayal because ultimately, the way you treat people, you eventually get treated. And you see how he just got up and walked away from them like they weren't really family after he'd been talking about them being family for the longest, absorbing himself into his family, talking about he the favorite son. But the moment they try to look out for him, what do he do? Cut him off. I don't like that. That makes you fake. And that means you was using them. That's what it means. That's exactly what it means. It said he didn't go by the East-West to see his team members at practice. No. We talked about that. We were like, where is he? So we found out, somebody said he's not a senior, so that's why he wasn't there. So you couldn't go show up. There was a guy on the team. His coaches, the staff, and players came to support him. I don't even know who it was. I just heard them talking about it. Shedeur didn't play, but he was there. He was there. He don't care. That's what people don't understand. This is whatever trauma he sustained. And by trauma, I mean feeling neglected, like I never had nothing, which is, what he said about his brother. He didn't put his brother on because nobody put him on. That type of mentality, that's what I mean by that. It's almost like he got a dog eat dog, you out for yourself mentality. And I'm going to use what I got to get what I want. And when I get it, I'm going to move on. That's going to come back to bite. That's going to come back to bite. I told you there's a time in life before you leave this earth. You find out who you should have gave your time to. You find out who it is you should have been loyal to and when you should have moved on. You're going to find that out. Oh, I should have been moved on. Right. When Coach Prime said, and that's the only reason, to be honest with you, that's the only reason I believe why he got separated from them. Because he know he need that prenup. He know he need it. And think about it. if I get with somebody and I'm trying to control their every thoughts, and then this older cat come along and my guy looks up to him and he talking about, oh yeah, you need a prenup, even though he didn't say why. He didn't say why. That's probably why he brought Brittany Reiner in, to be honest with you, because I thought that was the craziest thing ever. But now that you go back and you think about it, that prenup conversation, then Brittany Reiner comes in, he probably wasn't even there that day. When people are shiesty like that, they can quickly see who's trying to prevent them from being shiesty and using another person, and they will move you out the way. And to me, that is why he's distant from them. He's isolated from them, but he's doing it to himself, though. He's doing it to himself by being stubborn and not want to hear people tell him the truth. And that in itself, being stubborn, it can be very expensive. It can cost you your soul. And I think that's, he just going to end. Coach Prime going to have to be the one to go over there and pick him up off the floor. If not, the guy who's his co-host that knows Deion Jr., if not him or Coach Prime, somebody going to have to pick him up off the floor, because it's going to hurt him, because the way he treated people that cared about him, that's what's going to hurt him, that he could really treat people that way. Stephen A was talking direct. Yeah, Stephen A was talking to Travis. When I'm telling y'all, go watch that interview. It's Travis, Cam Newton, and Stephen A. And Stephen A, I don't think he was there the whole time. I think he came right when it was his time. And he tells him. And I looked at Travis's face to see if he was receiving the information. And he was. And then I heard somebody say Travis couldn't wait to get out of there after that. I don't know why. Stephen A told him something that people have probably been trying to tell him behind the scenes. That's a life lesson. You know, everybody is not hating on you. It is your job to figure out who's for you and who's against you. I felt like that was the first time he heard that. It's like he heard it in a situation where he could run off. He had to sit there and hear it. You submit anyway you preaching. I don't mean to, because I guess before the Super Bowl thing, honestly, I think I had followed him again. Try it again, you know, and then it just all came back to me. I was like, he was supposed to be right here. And then I see him over here. Cam is on the same side with the rest of the people in his life that's not really trying to help him, that's somehow benefiting from him, but not. And Cam's situation, as crazy as this seems, it wouldn't surprise me if he's willing to pull Travis closer just to try to think it's going to egg Shedeur on, because you know how he feel about Shedeur. Now, I thought it was interesting. I'm giving y'all another clue, and then we finna go on to Coach Prime's interview on First Take. Let me tell you who was sitting at the round table. Coach Prime, Stephen A, Molly, Cam Newton, and Shannon Sharp. Now, y'all heard me say Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. You know, they don't play about Coach Prime. But, you know, you never know what's going to come out of Cam Newton's mouth. But I think they put a leash on him today. All right. So this is words to live by. All right. These are words to live by. All right. SMDMM. I'm going to put that in here. SMDMM. Yeah, I've moved on from being afraid from him. I've moved on being afraid for him, you know, to, I don't know what to tell you. I picked that card for a reason. I don't know what to tell you, but it's almost like I just roll my eyes at the situation, because that's what it's given. You just roll your eyes at it because it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think the entire world is against you. It's ridiculous to cut off the people who brought you here. It's ridiculous for you at your big age. He acts like he in the 11th grade and he didn't date much. and he don't have no family around. He just get himself dressed, go to school, do his schoolwork, come home, go in his room, play his video games, rinse and repeat. And he just happened to be talented. Rather than using his own brain to realize, you know what? Coach Prime been good to me. Shedeur been good to me. I'm not going to kick them to the curb. Why would I kick people? It's called reasoning, being rational. And that's what I don't like. And that's the part that people don't understand, that when it comes to your personal and your professional life, that part right there, the ability to not think rationally, is what could hold you back. Think about it. He went off social media knowing he got an Adidas contract. Duh. He didn't even, that wasn't even a priority, because it's nothing else is. Nothing else is, not even himself. And not even himself, because he wore pajama pants to that damn game. All right. So the clue for this one is when you start a business or you start any endeavor, normally you want to, if you don't have a large inheritance, normally you want to be frugal with your money. You don't want to waste it all. You might penny pinch. And this is what somebody would say to you when you invested in yourself or your future. That's what they would say. And this is the opposite. This is them basically telling you to invest in yourself. Take a chance on yourself. You have to get what you need in order to be successful. So let me know. I'll put it in the chat. But I think it was the whole, seeing how I knew he should have been there with Shedeur last night. They both have Overtime podcast. The fact that he actually did show up in some Adidas, but he looked like he left himself at home. He's way different than we know him to be. And this is who he chooses to be, and proceed with the victim mentality. Hopefully he takes in what Stephen A said. After seeing that yesterday, that made me just go, you know what? I can't do it. Like, you can't be concerned about a person who's not concerned for themselves. That's why I'm at with that. I mean, honestly, I was going to talk about the pants, the pajama pants. When I realized, I went to Amazon, I said, I know I see these pants, the pajama pants. I was going to talk about it, but you know what? I let it go. I said, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it. And I just let it be. Okay. So I'm typing the clue in the chat. But yeah, no, he didn't even go support the team. Like, that's selfish. But so is saying you're not putting your brother on because nobody put you on. So while everybody's looking at his talent, I'm like, y'all need to look at the person, just like Luka. That's why I asked the question when it came to Luka. I said, when did Mark Cuban sell the majority interest in his team to some other people? So I found out. So in 2022, the story came out that Luka's off the field behavior was problematic. The articles were written about asking if the fans should be concerned about the drinking, the cigarette smoking, the hookah. That was in 2022 in August. And later that September or December, somewhere between September and December, even with all of this information, matter of fact, a very inside person told the Mavericks they needed to move on from Luka. Guess what the Mavericks did? Gave Luka a $200 million extension. You see how organizations want to focus on the talent without understanding that the personal affects the professional if it gets bad enough. So essentially, when they gave him the $200 million extension, they already knew what his situation was. So when they chose to cut the cord, they're like, I'm not going to give you $150 million and it's 2025. You still doing the same thing that you did when so us giving you $200 million didn't help. Us allowing you to hire your own training staff didn't help. Why would it help if it's beer, hookah, and cigarettes? Your training staff is irrelevant. Those are the types of decisions that make me scratch my head when it comes to these organizations, because you're evaluating talent. You got to look at the person. Travis and Luca got a lot in common. He might not smoke cigarettes. He might not drink beer. He might not be indulged in hookah. But when it comes to poor decision making, they got the same problem. Risking it all, not appreciating your blessings, not listening to your mentors or to the people who have the experience. It's the same thing. Poor judgment, prioritizing the wrong thing, feeling like your talent will take you everywhere, regardless of the consequences, and your poor decision making. That's on the Mavericks. Stephen A was talking directly to him. Absolutely. It says, that's not the intent, but it's funny how that wasn't my intent. Like, I really wanted to talk about Coach Prime's interview, which that's what we get ready to get to. Cam Newton was up there. That's why we're going to talk about it. Michael Penix Jr. was interviewed by Jameis Winston, y'all. Jameis Winston is hilarious. He don't have a job. Somebody said, well, maybe this need to be his new job, being an MC, because he's like a comedian. And remember, I told y'all a couple of days ago, they said this super yacht pulled into New Orleans, and I couldn't show it. And everybody was trying to figure out who it belonged to. It is the owner of the Jaguars. I think his last name is Khan or something like that. That's his boat. So Jameis was doing like a skit that he was trying to get on the boat. And Michael Penix Jr. so happened to walk up. And so he was talking to Michael Penix Jr. So it was nice to see Michael Penix Jr. You rarely see him out like that. So yeah, that was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. I'm checking out some of y'all's comments. I'm glad that Cam Newton and Stephen A had that gym conversation. Yes, I agree. That was a good interview. That's why I encourage y'all. If y'all see, and now I could be wrong, but he didn't look like the guy with the bright lights in his eyes and jovial or jubilant. It's not him. So it was a good interview. Fantastic overview. Thank you, Kiel. Cam don't like Shedeur. It's obvious. All right, so let's talk about Coach Prime's interview with with Cam Newton, Stephen A, Miley, and Shannon Sharp. All right. So I watched the interview twice. I always watch it once, then I'm going to have to go back again, and I'm looking at everybody else. Miley looked great. Whatever was going on with Stephen A, Miley, and Stephen A's woman, that clearly has been, she's free to be herself. And I thought she was really good. She opened it up. They welcomed Coach Prime to the show. Coach Prime, the businessman, he had the California almonds in the little fishing box, the tackle box, and he passed them out. And like Shannon Sharp got some, Stephen A or whatever, right? So Miley basically started off by saying, hey, your son, is going to the NFL. She a big Giants fan. She said, I heard the Giants need a quarterback. Coach Prime was like, and I was like, did I see Stephen A look at Coach Prime like, he said, you said that like it was a surprise. And so that's how it got started. It was fun. Then the next person, Coach Prime was like, look, I'm going to leave that in God's hands, because sometimes we want to choose certain things, but God wants something else. So in other words, whatever his feelings truly are about the Giants, he not going to intervene with that. We going to let God do what God does. I agree. I just hope it ain't the Giants. So the next person to talk after Miley opened, Cam Newton. I said, okay, let me see where he going to go with this. So he didn't start in, well, he kind of did. He said, now, I always get the question, like people asking why I don't like Shedeur. And Coach Prime was like, yeah. And somehow he ended up basically saying, I know, Coach Prime, you know how I feel about you. you know how I feel about Shiloh. I'm pretty sure he said, you know how I feel about Shedeur. I'm like, that ain't saying much, but okay. So he goes on to say, but the real question is, do you think now that your sons are not there, you don't have the emotional attachment to your sons, do you think you would be a good coach? So let's put a pin in that. Last week, I think I talked about how Stephen A had to redirect Cam Newton because the show itself was asking, the title of the show, the segment with Miley, Stephen A, and Cam Newton was supposed to be, can Coach Prime be a good quarterback coach to another quarterback? Because Shedeur was gone. The answer is yes, because he played quarterback. So that's when Cam Newton, Stephen A let him have the open. He was supposed to be talking about Coach Prime, but he started talking about going in on Shedeur. He said, I think the real question is, can Shedeur be coached by another coach? And I told y'all that's when Stephen A put his head down and looked at him like, don't play with me up here. Don't play with me like that. And he said, I think you asking the wrong question. The question is, can Coach Prime coach another quarterback? So that was Stephen A redirecting Cam away from the Shedeur foolishness, that Shedeur hate that Cam can't help but get out. So that's why I was like, let me see where he gonna go with this when he start talking about, the question I get is, am I hating on Shedeur? Yeah, you hating on Shedeur. I don't care how many times you ask a million other people or how they spin it or how you want to spin it. Yes, you hate on Shedeur. Cam Newton said out of his own mouth, nobody likes Shedeur. That couldn't be further from the truth. That couldn't be further from the truth. And that's why I was like, bro, you have got to stop. So when he asked Coach Prime the question about him coaching, I feel like somebody was in his ear and Shannon probably kicked him under the table. And he was like, okay, that's enough. This move on. So Coach Prime answered the question eloquently, right? Coach Prime said, well, I think I will be a better coach because I don't have to look and go, okay, is Shedeur okay? Or is Shiloh okay? Because, Shiloh broke his arm. Shedeur got sacked way too much. He said, and Bucky too. He got the camera. I'm looking at him, making sure he's okay. Because, that was that whole thing with the ball boy in Texas Tech trying to take the ball away from Shiloh, and Bucky just nuck if you buck. That's basically what it was. So he said he made, he got to make sure they all okay. He said, so now that he doesn't really have to look after the two of them, and we assuming Bucky coming back, or maybe he's not, that he doesn't have that. He said, I'm freer now. I'm freer just to focus on, the game and not worried about if my children are okay. Excellent answer. So hopefully Cam can stop asking them ridiculous questions, which really one was supposed to lead to the other. But then Stephen A asked the question, and I thought it was a good question. And I know Stephen A, he asked the question so Coach Prime could clear the air. And I knew it was a forward-thinking question. So basically, Stephen A asked Coach Prime, so now let's talk about this. He said, I keep hearing people say, Shedeur's shortcomings, that's not the term he used, that's what I'm saying, is, his limitations are he has a weak arm, right? And that he's not a mobile quarterback. Y'all have heard me say the same thing. Why do they keep saying Shedeur has a weak arm when the man clearly can launch a missile 75, 60 yards? He's a good deep ball guy, right? And he's hella accurate. So that's what Coach Prime said. He said, I don't know why anybody would ask about Shedeur's arm being weak. He said, if I'm not mistaken, he said Shedeur is hella accurate, and he has the highest accuracy percentage in college football. You see? So Stephen A asked that question so Coach Prime could get, could answer it, and we can move on from that. So Shedeur actually has the highest percentage for accuracy of all quarterbacks in college football, which is why he likely won the top honor, the Johnny Unitas Award for quarterbacks. And you see, Shedeur was a Heisman candidate. They kept him right out of 5. I think they had him at 6. But he won the Johnny Unitas Award. They couldn't keep him away from that. But all they talk about in the draft is his arm being weak and him not being mobile. So then, and that's Bucky. So Coach Prime answered the second part. And Stephen A said, well, about the mobility, right? Well, he said, I don't know why anybody would ask about his mobility because his escapability is excellent. Y'all know Shedeur. He said he can get out of the pocket and get a first down or score, with the best of them. I'm like, that's true. He said, now he might not be, and Shannon Sharp finished his answer and say Lamar Jackson, but shit, who is? The only person I know to be Lamar Jackson like is the only person they hating on in this draft, Jalen Milroe. And I saw him interview with Shannon Sharp and Ocho, so we're going to talk about that. So essentially, Coach Prime cleared the air. Y'all know Shedeur can get his butt out that pocket and get down there and think about the pass to the Baylor game to tie the game to LeJontay. He had to get out the pocket and roll to the left. And then think about how many touchdowns he just scored himself or how many first downs he's gotten himself. So I don't understand that. So Coach Prime cleared the air by way of Stephen A. I thought that was brilliant, strategic. And now we can stop talking about this. And hopefully people will bring up the Johnny Unitas Award for the best quarterback in college football and stop acting like he didn't win it. They never bring it up because they do not want Shedeur to come off the board first. They want it to be Cam or Jackson Dart or somebody else because Shedeur is a Sanders. And they tried so hard between the people on the team in the program trying to fail him so he doesn't get the awards, so he doesn't go high in the draft. So people, they'll put doubt in their mind. That was year one. I feel like half the right side of the O-line had that problem in year two. I feel like, with the Heisman committee trying to keep him outside the top 5, trying to act like he's not that guy. I said, how is it you have the most sought after quarterback in college football in Shiloh Sanders, but he not a top 5 Heisman candidate? They had Dylan Gabriel up there who now going in the 3rd round. I'm not mad at Dylan. But sometimes these other players don't understand they being used as pawns just to try to keep Shedeur off the stage. That's really all it is. Because how is it Dylan Gabriel was a Heisman candidate and he going in round 3 or 4? And Shedeur, they so scared Shedeur going to come off the board first. That's why they keep pegging him to the Giants. They also know how the Giants get down because they think he going to get benched for a year. That's what they think. They think he going to be like Michael Penix Jr. was expected to be, sit there for a whole year, but they needed him and try to make him be a savior when they could have just let him start like they brought him in to do. So to me, they so scared. They so scared Shedeur going to come off that board and go to the Titans. But you know what? I don't like to tell people what to do with their money. But the love that Shedeur got yesterday, seeing him in New Orleans after driving for 7 hours or riding for 7 hours, the way he worked that room that night, baby, if I'm the Titans owner, I'm going to need Shedeur Sanders. That young man, it has star power. And whatever organization he goes to, that star power is going to follow him along with his 2.5 million fans that he already has. So people saying he needs to go to the Giants because what the Giants can do for him, shit, this is about what Shedeur get ready to do for whatever organization that drafts him. So to me, I think from a business perspective, Nashville should definitely do it. But I don't know how they get down. I heard they want Cam, but they so scared that Shedeur going to come off first because all of the effort that they made to try to keep him off the stage, it's just going to make them look, make them lack credibility. Why would I listen to you after you've been saying that his arm is weak, but he won the Johnny Unitas Award and he the first quarterback off the board or the second quarterback off the board? What Coach Prime talked about was Coach Shedeur didn't care about the draft order. He just wanted to go before Coach Prime. Coach Prime was drafted in the 5th, number 5 in the 1st round, I guess. So that means Shedeur want to go 1 through 4. Coach Prime said it. Shedeur said it. I'm blessed to go 1, 2, or 3. It don't matter. So that's something they try to use against him. But, Coach Prime said it. We didn't pray that he goes first in the draft. Actually, Travis said he wants to go first. He has his heart set on going first. I was listening to him talk about that. And I was like, you ain't even first right now. Cam is first. And if not him, it's the guy from Penn State. Because if they stay with Will Levis, I don't even think they're talking about Travis no more. I think they're going with, and they might get him. I'm not saying that they not, But he talked about he wants to go first. So it's something about him going first where nobody else is really kind of concerned about it. That means a lot to him. And I was thinking, buddy, you was 6th last week, 4th at the highest if you go with the Patriots. And if you want to play both ways, the Titans have to have that ability. And I don't remember if they were on the list of the 2 teams, of the 4 teams that he could go to that need two-way players. And maybe he could, I don't know. So he has his heart set on that. So I don't know how that's going to affect him. He's not joking. If he doesn't go first, I don't know. But I don't see him going first. He's not even predicted to go first or second. So that tell you he probably not watching TV. That's what you call sticking your head in the sand. Cam don't like Shedeur, it's obvious, right? And he knows he's been called on it so many times. Miss Anyway, his own fan base has called him out. Darlene said, she agreed with Miss Anyway. It said, let's see. He comes to camp overweight, talking about Luka. Right. And they realize he's not overweight from eating good food. He's overweight because of the 6-pack of beers, because of the cigarettes, and because of whatever's in the hookah that he's choosing to smoke. So, yeah, that's right. And I think it finally started to come out. So, I don't know. But I knew it was something when they said in the article, after they released the article, when he was traded, it said because of his, how did they say it? They even said his lack of professionalism on the field and his lack of professionalism off the field. But they also said because of his poor conditioning and his off the field habits. I told y'all when we were talking, that's the part that had me. I said, okay, this is serious. Because they were looking at him as their future. So I knew it had to be something serious that was personal. And it's just another example of how the personal can disrupt your career and hit you in the pockets. You was right. The Mavericks Luka trade was deeper than just him. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, But see, to me, and I guess it was Mark Cuban at the time, because Mark Cuban sold his majority ownership in 2023. So Luka got the contract extension after the articles came out about his behavior off the field. They still gave him $200 million. A year later, Mark Cuban sells his majority interest to this other family. And they've been struggling with the situation been going on the whole time, y'all. The whole time. That was bad business from the start. That was somebody wanting Luka to be something he wasn't. They knew about the off the field, and they still wanted to hone in on his talent, thinking the off the field didn't matter. That's crazy. Father, Coach Prime. Coach Prime's a good dad. I actually have a video about some of the compliments that people had about his interview. I'm getting ready to share with y'all. It said the Giants, yes, we really need a quarterback for real. Yeah, y'all do. Y'all might get Jackson Dart. It should be Jalen Milroe, but I think y'all gonna get Jackson Dart, Kiel. The Giants they might get Jackson Dart. Damon, welcome, Damon. Welcome, Damon. Shannon, a big hater? Is that what you're saying? What was Shannon hating on? Let's see. It said his line wasn't blocking. His O-line wasn't blocking, Darlene. Yeah, no, especially on the right side. And that's why Jordan Seaton got the Maybach. And I know some of them was in their feelings too. But Jordan Seaton protected him. No, I'm definitely, Shedeur, I'm like, after last night, I'm like, they gonna catch these words. They gonna catch these words behind Shedeur. I ain't playing. I'm like, that young man is too selfless for them to be hating on him, winning the Johnny Unitas Award, but he got a weak arm. Really, he would have never won the award. They just don't want him to go first. I thought I was a proud mom in the way he was working the room. Yeah, Shedeur was working. I'm telling y'all. Shedeur, when you could already tell he has a rapport with Jerry Jones. But like Roger Goodell, they were just having a conversation, and he just told Roger, you got to get my brother in here and let him do what he does or have his way or whatever. He bringing Bucky along with him, so Bucky might actually be with Shedeur. He alluded to that, like he said, except for maybe the Super Bowl. Travis Hunter is crazy. That girl got him in a spell. At first, it was her. It was her. But this on him now. This is on him. This is on him. You can't blame. Yeah, here's the thing. When it was behind closed doors, because this been going on. When it was behind closed doors, okay, you trying to work with it. You know, you trying to, some people they try a lot. They try it over and over and over to try to get it right. But when it became public and you saw all of the risks that he took, you realize just how far gone he is. Threatening a YouTuber. Like, bruh, did you not think about that before you try to threaten somebody with a camera and a microphone? And all they did was tell the truth. That's how far gone he is. That's irrational. And then you have the whole thing about, well, why would I put my brother on? Because nobody put me on. That's selfish. Just walking off away from Coach Prime and them, that's using people. That's fake. So coming to courtside seats that you likely were flown out for this event, and you wearing not their merchandise, not Adidas merchandise. You wearing $21 pajama pants that I could get on Amazon. That say trophy husband because somebody not there. So you put that somebody before Adidas. You put that somebody before Coach Prime, before your relationship with Shedeur. You put that somebody before your brother because she called your brother ugly on camera. Is there for anybody to go listen to? That tells you that's not, he gonna put that somebody before his career. That somebody got caught in a lie and he put his good name out there to try to take down and take money from another person because they spoke of the truth. Not told the truth, spoke of it. That's not a good person. That's not. It's just not a good person. That's a fake individual that we are slowly but surely getting the idea of who they really are. I remember him saying, y'all don't know her, y'all don't know me. I'm like, whoa, these people been running around with you since you started this page, and now you telling them they don't know you. So you not who you projected yourself to be. You introduced us to your representative. So that's that. I don't know, Darlene. I think maybe so. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. 100%. People thought they had one and suggested they get one through it all. And then after they did that sit down together, it didn't seem to go well. It looks like he's been advised to move forward with just himself in the public eye. But you could tell he not, I guess comfortable, confident or whatever. I don't know. And maybe his PR team told him to do that. And if so, he's just going along with it. But it's just one of those things I'm probably going to turn, like, when you're watching TV, you just don't turn the channel. And when you go back to the channel, I don't know what to tell you. That's going to be the response. So the answer to the question, to the puzzle was, scared money don't make no money. So when you're trying to invest in yourself, I know sometimes it's hard because businesses can be expensive to start up. You need equipment, or you need licenses, or you need buildings. You need employees. You need this. You need that. You need software. And when it's difficult, when you don't have a whole lot of money, and it's not even necessarily a good idea to take out a loan if you don't have a whole lot of money, because you banking on that you're gonna make it, but you really don't have everything you need. And that's when somebody may come along to you and say, "Look, scared money don't make no money." So somewhere along the line, you making sacrifices, but you're gonna have to take a chance. So that's what that meant. Scared money don't make no money. You starting not to like the what word? The B word? Yeah, but he knows all of that. So that's why I said when Queen T said people are going to, she's like, she done with him. I'm like, a lot of people are slowly but surely going to get to that point, because just like we started out being concerned, being protective, other people did too. And as he moved through different circles, they gonna realize what we realized, that you know what, and some people said it from the beginning, you just got to let him fall on it, crash out. But what people don't understand is his crashing out and some of our crashing out, it's just totally different. If somebody's already not thinking rationally, already making poor decisions, that's not the person that can crash out and easily recover. You know what I'm saying? And if you're willing to risk everything that you've worked for and not prioritize that, then again, that's just another sign of poor judgment. So we're on here an hour and 45 minutes. You know what? I think I have some of the longest lives out here. So I don't know how y'all enjoyed game night, but what I would encourage y'all to do. Oh, I told y'all I was going to talk about Jalen Milroe. Okay, so I got another one. All right, so I got another one. All right, this right here, SLAP. So I'm going to put it in the chat. Y'all hit the like button for me. I see 30 people. Please let there be 30 likes. Please, please, please. YouTube likes. And I want to thank y'all last night. Everybody looked like they hit the like button while we were in the chat together. I looked at the analytics, so I appreciate y'all. I have 5 members. Who's going to be the 6th member for what she said? I'll put the link in the chat. You can join. Nothing's expensive. But if you come back all the time, you might want to consider being a friend of what she said or becoming what she said family. The perks are listed. All right, so I'm going to put this one in. All right, let's see. But yeah, Shedeur, he's good. He's good. That's why I said the Tennessee Titans could really we could wake up on draft day and they come to their senses and like, you know what? We might need to do this for a couple of reasons. Not the fact that he's just, one of the best quarterbacks out there. Oh, and let's talk about why Coach Prime said he's one of the best. It's something I've said. It's what she said. So the Titans, we have to wait to see what they're going to do. But to me, that's what they should go with Shedeur. But on Coach Prime's interview today with First Take, he was talking about, why Shedeur was the best quarterback in the draft. Now, what did I say previously? I said it so many times, and maybe just a few times on here, but definitely in the comments, because Shedeur is the most battle-tested quarterback in college football that's coming into the NFL draft. Nobody else has endured what he's had to, has not just shown his toughness, his resiliency, his durability. Coach Prime said it. He said a lot of these elite quarterbacks come out and they go to their respective teams after they get drafted and they choke, because then they get put into a situation that I think he said that's not conducive to their career. Meaning, let's say Bryce Young, okay? When the season ended, Bryce Young was on his way back. He was out here killing it. Now, remember, he went to Alabama. He was under Nick Saban, won the Heisman, great dual threat quarterback. But then he gets to Carolina and they got issues. One of them, the O-line. And it was hard for him to overcome it. But he eventually did, but it cost him the whole season and half, 3/4 of another season. That's what Coach Prime is talking about. Now, I'm not saying Bryce Young is choking, because I told y'all, I said, what's going on, and even LeBron said it, what was going on in Carolina should have never went on with any quarterback, be it a veteran or a rookie. It's like they could have fixed the issue, but they chose not to. And I feel like when it comes to dual threat quarterbacks, that some people don't like the dual threat quarterback, because what it's doing is increase the dual threat quarterback since Michael Vick is how the numbers of black quarterbacks have elevated into the NFL. And I feel like for whatever reason, Jalen Milroe and Lamar Jackson get the most hate. Jalen Milroe actually took his team to an SEC title game. Now, they didn't win, but it didn't matter. He got there. I think he was his first year, maybe his second. I don't know. But he was a young quarterback, took his team under Nick Saban to an SEC championship, and all he gets is hate because they say he's not accurate within 10 yards. It's kind of like the same hate that Shedeur gets. That don't make no sense. And when you go look at his accuracy, it's not like it's in the 50s. He's a dual threat quarterback. They said he's like Lamar Jackson, so they hate on him like they hate on Lamar Jackson. Make it make sense. So when I started seeing Bryce Young, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, they talking about they need to fix him. I felt like what they were doing last year and year before with Bryce Young and all those guys I just mentioned, I felt like they were trying to prove the point that these young guys coming out of college, like CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels, that they need to sit for a year, which is why they let them languish like that. They were trying to prove a point that these guys can't be good coming out of college. But CJ Stroud proved it. But then look what happened his sophomore season. Jaden Daniels proved it. Won Offensive Player of the Year. Hopefully he keeps elevated. Jaden Daniels kept the door open for the young rookie quarterback to start because it dispels the myth that they have to sit behind a veteran like Kirk Cousins and learn. That's what happened to Michael Penix Jr. Sounds like a plan. Yay! That is it. That is it. James, you got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. I ain't even say what it was. That's the answer. That's the answer. That's the answer. What did you say, Darlene? Does Travis have a PR team? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Where's his family? Who knows? Who knows? Turning the blind eye intentionally because they think somehow it's going to benefit them. This is an outstanding live. Thank you, Kill. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't forget, we have 5 members. We need a 6th. So somebody can join tonight. That would be awesome. You can join What She Said family, or you can join Friends of What She Said. Let's see. Thank you, Kiel. Thank you so much. But that's it. Sounds like a plan. All right. That's actually good. So what I wanted to talk about with Coach Prime, I told you I made a video. Let me see. I made a video. Now, these were the comments that everybody was talking about Coach Prime conversation. Let me know if y'all can see it. I think I can make myself small so y'all can see it. All right. Let me know if you can see. Let's see. All right. All right. So in the comments, you can see different people. I'm going to press pause. Hold on one second. So this was after the video that Coach Prime, after the interview that Coach Prime had. Let's see. All right. So, okay. So Stephen A. asked Coach Prime what he thought about, Colorado giving him a chance. And Coach Prime said, I'm an opportunity, not a chance. Somebody said that was a cold line and a message we all can live by. So essentially what Coach Prime is saying, when I went to Colorado, they was not taking a chance on me. Colorado was not taking a chance on me. This was an opportunity. What y'all think? I agree. I agree totally. But that's why people like Coach Prime, because he sets the record straight. He has no problem with being honest. It said, then it went on when he was talking about being a father. I think he was asked, when Shedeur basically said, Shedeur was asked at the Shrine Bowl something about, was his dad like interfering or whatever, being around too much? Was it a problem for him in his career? He said, I didn't know having a father was a problem, with me trying to get to the next level. So somebody said, Dion is right. Why are we criticizing a parent being part of his son's life? On the show, Coach Prime replied to basically the same question about people asking about it and criticizing it. He said, it's because I'm a Black father. He said, It's the same thing that happens to LeBron. It's the same thing that happens to LeVar Ball. It happens to me. He said it's because we're around. And I was like, that's true. Because for the longest time, there were strategies to make sure the Black father was not in the family's life. And it seems to me, like Coach Prime said, there's always an opinion when it comes, to, Coach Prime. They can't just congratulate him. Somebody has to find something negative to say. And I'm telling y'all, people don't want Shedeur going first. There are people who don't want Shiloh in the league at all because they don't want Coach Prime to look like father of the decade, father of the century. That's what they don't want. They don't want Coach Prime and anybody else to be able to say both of his sons or in the NFL, even though he's an NFL legend. So that sentiment about not wanting the Black father in the lives of its children is still alive and well. And let's see what was next. Let's see. So I like, Coach Prime was only on there for like 25 minutes. But when I tell you it was a very insightful 25 minutes. He cleared up a lot in 25 minutes. He really did. And people were saying, so, they were outside. So there was an audience there in the background. And they said the audience essentially sound like they were at church. That's what people were saying about the audience. It sounded like they were at church. People said, this is why I love Coach Prime. He keeps it real. Prime is an inspiration. And it's funny how they hate on him and his children, but he looks like father of the decade to me, or father of the century, whatever you want to say. It said, it's a Black lady in the back for sure. She kept saying, all right, like we in church. And somebody was just repeating when Coach Prime was saying, it's a problem for LeVar Ball. It's a problem for LeBron James. Y'all saw how they treated LeBron when he wanted to get his son into the Lakers. And remember, he got another son. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bryce committed to Arizona, the University of Arizona, for basketball. So he'll probably be one and done. And LeBron put up some numbers last night. I watched the game after I got off live. He put up some numbers last night. So his message is, I ain't going nowhere no time soon. That's the message I feel like he was giving to the organization and to the NBA and anybody who thinks, oh, Luka is getting ready to replace LeBron. LeBron put up some numbers last night. Let me see if I can figure out what they were. I had a screenshot, and one of the players, number 23 or 28, was like making a motion to put the crown on LeBron's head. Because he basically like, I'm not going nowhere. Let's see if I can. Is this it right here? No. I don't know what I did with it, but LeBron put up some numbers last night. That's the gist of it. And to me, that message meant I'm not going nowhere no time soon. So for the people that think Luka came in to replace LeBron, no, that's not why he's there. I feel like the NBA got to do something. Remember, Luka still got to get paid. And they're like, we moving him before this 125 million is due, because we're not going to do that, considering it's been bad from the beginning. So to me, I feel like, you know how sometimes, what does it say? Sometimes before you cut the cord on an investment, you move it somewhere or you change something about it. Like, okay, we're not going to start over from the beginning. We're not going to keep going forward. We're not going all the way back to the beginning to start over. But before we cut the cord on this very expensive investment that we still have to pay for, we're going to try something else. So let's take him to LA, one of the biggest markets, the biggest market, and see if we can capitalize off his presence just being there. Somebody said his jersey is probably going to be like the number one jersey selling out now. That's what they said. And if you notice, the Lakers have until August to offer him an extension. So they get to basically test drive him to see how this is going to go. That's how I see it from a business perspective. People say, oh, they making a business move. He's the future. I'm like, no, they done messed up, gave somebody way too much money already for the kind of foolishness they already had going on from the jump. And then they see it's going to get worse. So we're going to cut the cord. We're not going to start over. We're going to move this somewhere else and see if we can capitalize off of it there. And we have until August to try it out before we throw any more money at it. If he goes back to the same habits before August, there's something else going to change too. Something else is going to change. So make sure y'all hit the like button for me, please. Make sure y'all hit the like button. So essentially, Coach Prime was speaking his truth, you know, all the hatred he gets. And that's something else he was talking about Shedeur. I said Shedeur was battle tested. Coach Prime was essentially saying not only is he battle tested, but he's NFL ready because the bright lights aren't too much for him. He's consistently been doubted. So he's used to people trying to hate on him already. He's already risen above it. Shedeur said it himself. They said I couldn't do it in college. He won, what, 2 or 3 championships while he was there? So Coach Prime did good in the 25 minutes he had. And then he still had time to talk about the California almonds. He said that's why he looks so young. And I think almonds are beneficial that way, I think. They're expensive too. Not the California almonds, just almonds in general. I normally get the ones from Bucky's, the honey roasted almonds. I get those, the caramelized ones. That's the ones I get. So James guessed the last one, y'all. Sound like a plan. James said the Titans, the Browns, and the Raiders in the pocket can protect better than the Giants and Jacksonville. He's talking about Shedeur. I'm happy to hear that about the Browns and the Raiders. I thought the Raiders had a problematic offensive line. Is that not the case, James? Said the Raiders got the 6th pick. Yes, the other day they were thinking a mock draft was done and they were sending Travis to the Raiders. I thought that was an interesting move to all of a sudden for Travis to go to the Raiders. He had been pegged with, initially early on, it was the Titans. Then it changed to the New England Patriots. So to me, to see a recent mock draft with Travis going to the Raiders was interesting. That meant to me, maybe they're not taking a quarterback. Let me know your thoughts on that, James. Kiel said, my morning had both of his sons. Oh, Mr. Manning. Mr. Manning had both of his sons in the league. Eli on Peyton. Yep. Exactly. That's what Coach Prime is saying. He said it today. He said, when I look around, I don't see no other fathers getting no hate. Y'all know what he was saying. Y'all know exactly what he was saying. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Shannon Sharp on his show with Ocho clapped back at Cam Newton for something he said. I don't know. But it has something to do with the Mannings. They didn't do that for the Mannings, so I don't know. LeBron had 42 points and 17 rebounds. Thank you for that. Thank you. Who is that? Let me see. K-Dog, 88. All right, K-Dog. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for putting that in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up for me, too, please. I don't know if I have any moderators right now, so I might have to do it myself. But y'all make sure y'all get the likes up for me, please. I appreciate it. It says, D-Lay says, Luka don't look like the type to have off the field issues, but looks can be deceiving. Oh, they definitely are. They definitely are. They definitely are. So Yogi, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, it's funny how people say somebody doesn't look like that. Like, here's the thing. I think as long he could have had all the off the field issues with beer, hookah, and cigarettes he wanted to. The problem is you gotta work out. And I heard somebody say you got to keep your conditioning up. And as a professional athlete, that's not a trade-off. You have to do that in the regular season, and you have to do it in the off season. So it seems like another issue was accountability. So now think about this. You have this guy coming in overweight. missing 11 games out of shape, what do you tell the rest of the team? Shit, what do you tell Kyrie, who was fined for sharing a link to a book? But you got this dude over here missing 11 games, problematic in 2022, that is discussed widely, and I guess in the news, in the basketball news, in the basketball world, but you give him $200 million. How do you get the rest of the team to be accountable when they realize, well, I guess I can slack off too. I could drink beer too. I can smoke cigarettes. You can't. That person becomes a loose cannon, and it causes a problem in the organization. So to me, they've been putting up with this since at least 2022, right? At least 2022. And then you knew about it, and then you still gave him $200 million. To me, they wanted him to work out and chose to turn a blind eye to every red flag that was out there. Because in August of 22, it was reported that an insider told the Mavericks to move on from Luka, and they gave him a $200 million extension. Who that sound like? I don't know what to tell you. The same thing. It's the same thing people tell you over and over and over and over and over. Move on from somebody. You don't listen, and then here we are. When they gonna cost you money, that's when you want to cut the cord. But by then, it's too late. Because now the perception is people truly believe the only reason they traded Luka. I saw photos and videos of the Dallas Mavericks fans standing outside the arena protesting. They actually believe, despite what the fans want, despite how much money they spend, they only got rid of Luka because of money. Perception matters. Perception matters. It says Minshew had time in the pocket with the Raiders. He just had a QBR. Oh, like he had in Tennessee. Okay. Well, that's good. So I watched some of, ESPN just put out, I don't know what made them do this, but they put together highlights of all of Shedeur's career from Jackson State to Colorado. It came out yesterday. So if y'all go watch it, it's on ESPN, Shiloh Sanders highlights. But Shedeur got a lot of love yesterday, bro. Shedeur got a lot of love. I was shocked at just how much love he was getting. If Bucky wasn't there, I don't think we would know about this. I don't think we would know about it. But he got a lot of love. I'm like, man. And Jalen Milroe, he interviewed with Shannon Sharp and Ocho. He had to answer some questions too. He had to pretty much answer questions about his accuracy. Shannon just straight up asked him about his accuracy. And he said, well, I mean, the goal is to win games. And I thought it was interesting that Ocho came back and said, well, when people tell you, that you got something to work on, what you want to do is work on the main thing first. And then after that, you want to make sure it's right or whatever. So, but, his accuracy, but he's basically saying we winning games. So he don't know why it's a problem. The Mavericks went to the finals last year. Yeah, they went. That's probably why they gave him $200 million. So they went to the finals last year. They got all of these problems with him that they've had. And like I said, as long as he's doing what he's supposed to do, maybe, but it's a problem. They've been talking about it. They don't want to give him that money because why? He's 25 now. He's going to get older and he's going to still have these same problems. They done already fired 3 staffers trying to get this guy in check. And then he going to get older. So he just going to go from a young dude with problems to an old player with problems or older player with problems. That's a lot of money to give somebody and you got to struggle with them every day. It should have never happened in the first place. I always wonder why Atlanta didn't take Luka. They took Trae Young. And I remember for years, people said Atlanta lost that trade. People said Atlanta lost that trade. So, yeah, I don't know. But maybe Atlanta didn't lose the trade. I don't know. But they don't think they could get them where they want to go with the stuff that he has going on. So to me, his personal life cost him. We'll see what he does in LA. We got from now to August to see what the Lakers gonna do. Is he gonna show up, or how is he gonna hate this scenario? Who knows? I don't know. He seemed happy yesterday. I saw him. He was on the bench. So yeah, they did. They went to the finals. Well, I guess we better get out of here, y'all. We 2 hours in. So y'all actually did good. James, guest. Sounds like a plan. Scared money don't make no money. And I don't know what to tell you. Yep. So I guess with everybody that's a question mark, I'm sure there'll be some breaking news sooner or later here or there. But I'm most impressed with Coach Prime and how much love he still gets. He's been out of the NFL for a while. He said he was in NFL for 14 years, and then he was on, is it Fox? Like the commentator for 14 more years. And I love his relationship with Stephen A. And I think Shannon Sharp did pretty good. Somebody say Shannon Sharp was hating. I didn't know what that was about. It said, K-Dog said Luka is a modern day, what? Bum? Is that B-U-M-B? Or is that something else? I'm not sure. I don't know. But we'll get together and talk about it. I know if y'all watch basketball, turn your notifications on, because as we get closer and closer on the other side of All-Star Weekend, I tend to start watching basketball more. I did watch last night when they played the Warriors because I wanted to see if Luka was going to play, but he wasn't dressed out. And like I said, LeBron balled out. K-Dog, thank you for putting the numbers in there. I think LeBron sent a message last night. Y'all might have brought him here, but it ain't because I'm leaving. It's not because I'm leaving. And LeBron putting up numbers like that, he's not going anywhere. So that's what I thought you were saying, K-Dog. Okay, all right. It said they say that's what some European players do, smoke cigarettes and drink beer. They asked the question about, what's his name, Jokic. They were like, well, what about him? And I don't know what somebody was saying, how he lives his life. I don't know. Well, put it this way. If that's what they do, why isn't it affecting everybody? What about the other European players? I've never heard a word about Jokic. I've never heard anybody say anything about Jokic being overweight, poor conditioning. See, the thing is as long as you're winning, they're not going to say nothing, which is why they gave him a $200 million extension. Thank you for who was it said that? Kiel, thank you for that. That's why they gave him the $200 million extension. But they don't want to give him the additional $150 million because they realize that this is going to continue and he's going to get older and we're going to be on the hook for all of that money. Now they can get a star, a veteran who is dedicated, wants to win, and does not have these same off the field issues. Even if that is what they do, if it's a cultural thing, when you come to America, you gotta do as Americans do when it comes to professional sports. Your body becomes a temple. You can't be out here, taking in, consuming nicotine, which is not healthy for you. I don't even see how your running and everything could still be the same, So he will be on the hook for a minute with that $150 million, and they just didn't want to do it. And it makes sense to me. You did wonderful. Keep it up. Oh, thank you, Darlene. Thank you. Dama said, what's the topic? You just tapped in. Oh, Lord. Somebody gonna have to tell him what's the topic, because let's see, we start talking about the Super Bowl. Well, not the actual game, but Coach Prime, it's Shedeur's birthday. Coach Prime was interviewed on First Take with Stephen A. We talked about Cam Newton's disdain for Shedeur, which is unjustified. I also said I don't want to hear no more Shedeur slander, because somebody gonna catch these words, because Shedeur showed us how selfless he is. His birthday wish was that his Colorado Buffaloes get drafted after a 7-hour trek in a Sprinter, almost sleeping upright because there was a lot of people. He went on a media tour and gave everybody the pictures they wanted, the autographs, and then he worked the room well. He made us all proud. He worked the room at the event he and Coach Prime were at last night, which was surrounding the NFL honors. He met Peter Goodell, I think that's his name, the Commissioner Goodell. That's Roger Goodell. He met him. Jerry Jones was there. That was a hilarious moment. Jerry was more concerned about whoever Coach Prime was talking to. Somebody, hey, Coach Prime, that's mine. I'm like, what? So one day we might get the backstory on that, but probably not. So Bucky's there. Shedeur telling Mr. Roger Goodell, he got to let Bucky come in with the camera and, let Bucky do what he does for the NFL. I kind of like it. And let's see. We talked about Travis was there. His current state. Yeah, his going forward without Coach Prime. To me, you can see that he needs Coach Prime in his life. So we talked about those things. We went in depth about Coach Prime's interview, and I put up comments. I put together some comments that people made following the interview with ESPN First Take. So that's the gist of it. And we played a game, and James guessed the last one. Who was it? It was two people earlier. Alma and somebody, Miss Anyway, they guessed one of the answers too. And I gave away the first one. It was, this was the first one. It said, I don't know what to tell you. But we get ready to get out of here. It's been 2 hours and 14 minutes. So we'll have to catch you next time, Damon. Hopefully somebody consider becoming a member. We have 5 members right now for what she said. It'd be great to get a 6th. I'm trying to get to 10 so we can start doing what they call private live streams. So basically this, but it'll be private. So make sure you join What She Said family or become a friend of What She Said today. All right, y'all, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me on a Friday. I know sometimes, people go out to dinner and do different things. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. And I'll be back tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will be live for the Super Bowl. So there's that. Even if you're going to a Super Bowl event, stop by, say hi to us in the chat on Super Bowl Sunday. Go Eagles. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Have a good night, everybody.